Welcome to the Urban Cowgirl Show. Today, in this session, we're going to bring Eve and Sadie up to the training harness pole. You can see that we've got the hay cart, which is our simulated forecart, just standing here, sitting here for them to see and get used to. I've got the butt rope that we think, adjusted to the right size. And we've put the cat collars for the butt rope holder on their harnesses. Those are cat collars that are breakaway cat collars in case they get spooked, which happened a couple sessions ago, and we don't want the butt rope to get hung up on anything. It's going to only be hanging. Ooh, that's pretty good. That's okay. We're not ready to get the hips over, but good. We're just going to let them, every time we work with them, come in here into the training harness pole. Right now it's on the ground. Let's see how Sadie does.
Good girl.
And we're out here in the wide open.
Ooh.
Good, good.
Ooh.
Remember, Eve got kind of afraid of Sadie when we had one of our near wrecks a few sessions ago. So now we're getting Eve confident again to come in. She is my best pull horse, but you know, any horse can get spooked and then they can remember it. So you kind of have to work them out of it. But today, we're going to go back into this semi-enclosed area. We're going to put the horses' heads right up against the north side of this storage shed. We've got removable panels that are kind of giving us an envelope in which to work, but you see that they can be pulled away if we start getting spooking horses. We're going to bring the horses up with their eyeballs in front of this wall. And then we'll see if we can get them to stand parallel here without the harness pole, without the simulated forecart, which is our hay cart, without being out in the open, which is always harder than being up against a tie post or a wall. We're going to see if we can gain confidence ourselves that our butt rope might be helpful to us in the field to help Sadie and Eve know their boundaries for their hips. What it is a way, suggested by Doc Hamill, to have them feel the pressure on their hips so that their hips tend to stay together, especially when going backwards in the field. Now, lo and behold, I was watching RFD TV today, Rural Heritage, my favorite program, and there was part one of Doc Hamill's Preventing Wrecks show. And I assume the rest of the parts are coming up in future weeks, but I'm really glad that Doc Hamill has gone on satellite. I think what he has to say can be very helpful to people like me. And I must report that I went to the Eco Farm Conference in Pacific Grove, California yesterday, and I went to one of the lectures about pasture management. It was a room full of people that are trying to manage their pastures. And afterwards, during the question and answer session, I raised my hand and I said, is anybody here using their horses or their livestock to help them do organic farming and pasture management? And only one gal raised her hand, and she has a fjord horse up in Philo, Mendocino County, California, that she does do some farming with. And she's got a couple shows on YouTube, and she did have Doc Hamill come out and help her train her horses, I think in a one-day session, and she has purchased a forecart from Pioneer. So it was very thrilling for me to find somebody in California that's doing this. I told her about my videos when she gets back from the Eco Farm Conference. I'm hoping she'll watch them. I also gave her a copy of a DVD showing the kind of the constant problem we've been having trying to get Eve and Sadie to get their hips together. So we're going to see, she's not doing pairs driving, but we're going to see if she has any ideas that I haven't already tried or am not trying or may not have learned by watching RFD TV, especially all the shows about farming, especially rural heritage. All right, so my handlers, Angela with Sadie, Kyle with Eve, are going to walk up to the wall. Step up.
Step up.
Steady. Hope. Good girl, Sadie.
Eve is a little standoffish.
All right.
Yeah. Kyle, walk back out and try to walk closer to Sadie.
Back.
Rather than trying to ask her to move her hips over with pressure from my arm extension, I'm going to say, let's see if we can't place her closer to Sadie just by walking back out and in a straight path, walking back in. We only have a regular halter on Eve. Kyle, walk back out this way so you can walk straight in. Try to come a little closer to Sadie. If Eve is still avoiding Sadie, it's because she hasn't forgotten that day when there was almost a wreck, when the butt rope got hung up in one of my dog collars. Today, we don't think that will happen, but you know, each time we train, we always have to be alert to the nature of our horses and our mini cows, that they are prey animals.
Easy. You're okay.
Everett, let's not do that now. It's too much noise. Even noise can be a spooky object. That's better, better. Walk up to the wall. Okay, but not quite close enough. So here's what we're going to do. We're not going to force the issue today. We're not going to try to do any major steps in this training. I'm putting my arm extension down, but everybody should know here's where it is. We are going to do this. On Eve, we're going to connect the butt rope through the breakaway cat collars. We're going to come around and let the butt rope touch Sadie's hips. We'll see, one tiny baby step at a time, how the horses feel about this training tool and tool to be used when we're actually farming. So here we go. We're going to connect.
Okay, girl.
It's all right, Eve. I talked to her. We're connecting to the breakaway cat collar in such a way that if there's pressure, it's supposed to break away, and we have tested it. It seems to break away. We're going to go through the breakaway cat collar that's back here at the britchin, the back of the britchin, the last strap. It's all right, Eve. She's feeling this rope come through. It's all right. It's all right, Eve. She is a little bit stressed, I can tell, but she is listening to me. Her ears are coming back. She's blinking her eyes, so she's not totally spooked. I'm looking for all the signs. All right, Eve. Now I'm going to go all the signs of, okay, I'm not too stressed. You can go on to the next step. I'm going through the cat collar that's under her tail on the back of the britchin. Because from my experience, it's all right, Eve. It's all right. Oh,
Scared herself.
she scared herself. All right, let's that's all right. We'll deal with the moment. Okay. Okay, so I have enough of the length on my butt rope to at least,
Watch this truck.
yeah, do plan A. Now look at there, we've got a big truck coming by. So you know what? Yeah, we have to deal with the moment. I am not going to do this at this moment. What I'm going to do is come back out. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right, girls. I'm going to pull this through again, get it out. Bad timing that this truck came by at this time. I'm going to pull it through the other cat collar. But I know that noise can be just as much of a spooky object as anything else. I'm going to release the butt rope. I'm going to have Kyle walk back out with Eve. Come over to here, Kyle.
Steady, Sadie.
And the truck is backing up, so we hear the backup beeps. It'll be coming by again. We're going to wait till it comes by. We're just going to let Eve calmly, we hope, walk up to Next to Sadie again. Sadie's back leg is cocked. Is Eve seemingly stressed?
Yeah, I want her to see the truck right now. Before I get her.
Remember, this is an urban rural setting. We've got urban things happening here, yet we're trying to do rural things in our very nice, normally quiet pasture. So we just have to adjust our training methods accordingly. The truck is coming back out. I'm picking up my arm extensions in case I need to make myself big. This is I believe, a waste management truck, so it is going to pick up some recycled materials. Okay, Kyle, I think you should be able to be safe to walk in. Okay, step up. Best not to look at her when you ask for it. Be real confident. Look ahead. Just try not to stand in front of her in case she does spook.
Good girl, Sadie.
And now it is, you probably can hear it, the truck is dumping recyclable materials. It's making noises. It's a very noisy truck. It's all right. I'm going to make myself a wall here. It's going by now. It will be dumping another recycle bin right here, so just come closer.
Girl.
I'm making a wall.
Step up.
It's all right, Evie. It's all right. It's all right, Evie. Good girl.
Easy.
Good.
Easy, Sadie. Good girl.
Is that as close as you felt you could get to Sadie?
Yeah, well, she still wants to.
She wants to watch the truck. Okay, come back out now. It's kind of getting far away.
Back. Back.
Even farther away from the clasp. You want to make that wiggle with your whole arm, Kyle, and I'll show you. Okay, now come back out here. Your left arm should be farther down so that if you do wiggle your lead line, that wiggle will be felt under her chin at her halter. The more of a wave from the wiggle you can propagate, the more effective will be that tool. Okay, the recycle truck is moving away. Okay, Kyle, come on back. I'm going to make a wall here, and Everett might help me too. Can you hold on to one of these? You make a wall right here. I'll make a wall right here, a visual wall. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right. Good. Yeah, now they're parallel. Not close enough to actually do some work together. But let's see if we can now go back to our original plan, which is I'm connecting the butt rope to the breakaway cat collar on the hame ring on the left. If anything should spook her and the butt rope gets pulled, it should break away. It's all right, Eve. Now I'm going through with the same butt rope, the cat collar, breakaway cat collar that's near the back strap of the britchin. It's all right, Eve. It's all right. She's watching me back here. That's okay. A lot of despooking can happen when the horse says, whoops, she's stepping on the butt rope. She's stepping on it. Can you get her forward?
Step up.
Step up.
Step up.
Step up. Nope, she's still stepping on the butt rope. Okay, now she's off of it. Okay.
Easy, Sadie.
It's all right, Eve.
You're okay.
It's all right, Sadie.
Good girl.
Good, and Everett's trying to get her attention, and I am just going to touch Sadie on her hip with it. We're way far away. They're not close enough to each other to even think of doing farming even with spreaders.
Easy.
But look, Sadie moved away from the butt rope, which is a good sign. That's the idea of the butt rope. They feel the slight pressure on their hips and they say, okay, I better get closer. I better move away from the pressure, and in so doing get closer to the paired horse that I'm supposed to be working with. And I have to say that considering how far away they are and considering this butt rope would reach up to, can just hold on to it, up to that hame ring, the butt rope is still too long. So Everett, who's helping me make the butt rope the right length, before we unhitch the horses today, unharness them, we're going to have to try to get them closer and get a better idea. I don't want a knot in the back of the butt rope to make it shorter, because that knot could easily get stuck in the cat collars if there were a spook. So let me pull this out.
Before you move, I'm looking at
Yeah,
how close you want these two horses.
yeah,
How much we want to take out of here.
yeah. So do you get a feel?
If they're should they be half again as close?
Yes, at least. And
So
you know,
we want at least 3 feet shorter.
3 feet shorter. Okay, by next time we'll have this butt rope 3 feet shorter. Let me show you what we did on the ends. We want to make sure nothing on the end is protruding, because that's what happened last time. I did an easy and simple knot, and the knot itself got hung up in a dog collar that wasn't breakaway, and it made a figure 8, and that's when we had our near wreck. So we're learning with every session. We're showing you session by session, tiny baby steps, how we're getting ready to use Eve and her daughter Sadie for farming. Eventually, with our homemade training harness pole made out of PVC and ABS, and our simulated forecart for now, upon which the harness pole with quick releases is placed, and we're going to one tiny step at a time, and we're almost in spring, so we should be able to work more often. Teach these two horses to do some farming around here, because we want to continue to grow organically Timothy hay here in California. Not easy to get Timothy hay. And we use our homemade compost. We have irrigation. It hasn't hardly rained at all this winter. And here it is, February. And we have our irrigation on. And the lecture yesterday about pasture management that I attended, where I met the gal from Philo, the expert that spoke at the lecture, started the lecture by saying, "Have you done your rain dance today?" The farmers are really worried because there's hardly been any rain. This is 2012, February, and it's almost like spring, as you can see. And that's all for today. Sonia Sokolow. All right, today we're working with our pairs driving training, but we are still struggling with getting Eve and Sadie to drive in parallel at the same speed and keep their hips together. And if not the hips, well, then we have to worry about getting the shoulders together. We do want to use this butt rope, which is now the right length. And we've got the emergency breakaway cat collars through which the butt rope can go, so that if there is a spook, the collars have consistently broken away with any kind of pressure of spook nature. So we're feeling comfortable about that. We have used cross-check reins with Eve and Sadie. So we'd like to go back to that. We have picked up the harness pole with Eve and Sadie. So we want to go back to that. In the way corner over there, we have, maybe you can zoom in, an old hay cart that's set up to be a simulated forecart, to which this harness pole in the back can be attached with breakaway clasps. All of these things, one step at a time, we've done with Eve and Sadie, but we're just not ready yet. Even though we're in part 19 of pairs driving training, we're not ready yet to try to put it all together, because number one is safety. We have to make sure Eve and Sadie understand the pressures, the requests, the noises, the lifting of the pole, the sound of the hay cart behind them. We have many a scene called Next Session in my first 19 parts of this training that concerns each one of these actions individually. But now we're back to, can we get them to move together and not spook if they hear something, feel something that's something a little unusual? Let's go ahead, let's try it. We're just doing it with lead line today. Each handler, you will see, has an arm extension. And Eve is still a little bit shaky after Sadie spooked, and Eve spooked when the butt rope got hung up in the dog collar that twisted. Now we don't think that's going to be of concern because we've got the breakaway cat collars. I am going to try to help the handlers by getting an arm extension myself. Just keep trying to move. Now, if you're trying to get Eve to go back, use your arm extension on her breast.
We're trying to get her to move closer to Sadie.
That's tricky. We may want to do that in saddle with groundwork at the same time, because with our spurs on, we may be able to tickle them into position. We just haven't gotten to that step. Here's my little cart whip. It's not really a whip, it's just an arm extension. We want them to get used to stopping, standing in parallel. Just like an old pair of harness workhorses, like Doc Hamill's. When you watch his videos, they've done it so long and so often that they know that that's the correct answer. Let's do this. If you guys will walk up to the training harness pole, take either side, it's up to you. You've got your lead line on Sadie on the halter part. Let's put it on one side or the other so you have a little more control if she spooks. Now, it used to be that Sadie would spook if she touched the harness pole. And she didn't spook, but you see she turned her hip out. But she's licking her lips. So let's see if we can get... I'm trying to keep her from going forward. Katie's trying to keep her from get her hip closer. Okay, now we need to get her shoulder closer. So, yes. And now the hip. We have to get her push button on this.
Over.
See the windshield wiper motion to keep her from going forward. Ah.
Over.
Good, good. Let's see if we can stand her here. See, she's licking her lips. Good sign. Now, how hard has Evie been to work with today, Angela?
She's been all right.
She's been all right. Okay. All right, let's see if we can get her in position here.
Over.
If we do this over and over and over again, they'll understand
Over.
what the right position is.
Easy. Over.
Little harder, and I'm gonna windshield wiper to keep her from going forward, because it's a normal reaction for the horse to think, oh, I'm gonna go over and forward.
Back.
Now shoulder has to go.
Ooh. Ooh.
Now she might touch the pole, so Sadie might spook. No, we're okay. Let's get that shoulder over. Little visual block here. Over. Over.
Good girl.
Good girl, Eve. Now, can we get her parallel in the front at the same distance from the harness pole? Step up.
Step up.
One small step. Good.
Good girl.
Good. Now we've got Aaron here. We don't have Everett today, and they're used to having Everett, but Aaron, if you can come forward. What you do, on 3, what you do is you pick up the harness pole, one hand on the pole, one hand on the leash. It's all right. So that if we need to put it down, you don't have to throw it down for your own safety. You can just hopefully just place it down with the leash. I'm going back here. It's all right, girls. I'm talking to him. It's all right. We got to get Eve to step back. Good. A little shoulder over. You know, this is almost dressage. When you watch dressage, the riders who are good dressage riders have full control over the body parts, also natural horsemanship. You need to be able to tell the horse, I want your shoulders over. I want your hips over. I want your head down. I want your head arched. There's a lot to explain. Good girls. Okay, so on 3. 1, 2, 3. Good girls. Good girls. Now Sadie's moving away. Let's put it down quietly. There was concern. They wouldn't have moved away if there wasn't concern. So we need to do this over and over and over again until there is no concern. And you know what? They want to please, and they don't want to be afraid. We just have to make sure they know what the correct answer is and make sure they're not afraid to give it to us. We're going to try again. Are we going back to fundamentals? Sure we are. That's what it's all about. Make sure you've got the prerequisite skills and then move on. She touched it. She got scared by touching it. It made a noise. You really need handlers that have presence with your horse. You really need handlers that the horse has confidence in. There you go. And that's a real good way to get confidence. Sadie was being asked to go back. It's not a natural response from a horse to want to go backwards. So if they're doing it for the handler, they're giving that handler the respect and the confidence. Good. Whoa! It's all right, Sadie. It's all right. We like to make a straight path. Sadie's doing very well. It's almost like Eve has become the problem horse right now. We'll get past that because I know that Eve is going to be my best harness horse. Visual block. Whoa. Eve's hip is over a little bit. So I'm going to ask you to keep her from going forward by putting a visual block. I'm going to ask her to go over. Pressure is on the hip. Over. 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 Good. Now I'm going to ask her, yes, we're getting the answers with the step overs that I want. Eve is now licking her lips. She's glad to know that she's giving me the right answer. See more at www.urbancowgirlchannel.com.